Hello everyone, welcome to Pokédex, the channel where I build decks for the Pokemon trading card game. You guys have been asking for expanded decks, so here they are. I was waiting for the right time to showcase some expanded decks, and there's been an Arena Cup in Germany, so I think this is the right time. We've got some decks to look at. So by looking at the top 8, I'm on 60cards.net. There's a very nice article in there describing the top 8 decks. There's a lot of Yveltal variants, actually 4 of the decks, so half of the top 8 was Yveltal. And then we've got a Night March Archeops, which I already played in this channel. You guys can look for the video in my playlists. There's the expanded playlist I've got somewhere, and there's a Vespiquen Flareon, Vespiquen Excelgar, which I will play later this week. I have the video ready for you guys also, and Seismitoad Giratina, which is the deck that we're going to be playing today by Robin Schulz. I've got the deck list right here. Oh, sorry. So it's basically a Seismitoad deck. So Seismitoad with hammers and lasers and Shaman for card draw. But Robin also played Giratina, which actually works really nicely because it kinda covers the weaknesses of Seismitoad. So if the opponents are playing Vespiquen decks, which hit for a lot of damage, Seismitoad can hold them off for a little bit by quicking punching and not letting them play their battle compressors. But after a certain point, they just get enough Pokemon in the discard pile that they can hit us for weakness and kill our Seismitoad EXs. That's where we combine our hammers with our Giratina EX and not let them play any special energy, so they might become unable to attack us. So Giratina is really good in that regard. Of course, it also does 100 damage, which is way more than Seismitoad does. So we actually have a better finisher, so to speak, in this deck. That's, I think, what the Giratina are in here for. Obviously, I didn't build the deck, so I can't be 100% on the card choices, but I can try to explain to you guys how I think the deck plays. So there's 3 Shaman EX in here, obvious reasons. It's the super consistent card that just allows us to draw really quickly into the hammers and the lasers and all that. We have 1 Upa EX, also really nice in this deck. We can Ultra Ball for it and grab a Shaman, a Keldeo, and a Seismitoad, for example. That seems like perfect match because we get an attacker, the Keldeo for the Floatstone tricks, and then the Shaman to draw a lot of cards. So Upa EX, really nice in that regard. We have 1 Keldeo EX. As I mentioned, we can grab it with Upa, and we stick a Floatstone on it, and we suddenly are immune to, well, not immune, we take damage when the opponent passes the turn, but we can then rush in, retreat, and that will heal off the special conditions of our Pokemon. And then the main attacker of the deck, you guys know this one pretty well by this time. It's Seismitoad EX. Quicking Punch is still really good where in the formats where we can play them with lasers and hammers. Computer Search is the ace-spec of this deck for obvious reasons. It's also a consistency card, grabs us one of the supporters that we might need, and also grabs us the double colorless energy. So anytime that we're playing a deck that really wants to make sure that we have the lock down with the Quaking Punch, the Computer Search just makes it so much easier. We have 4 Crushing Hammers, really important to get rid of energy with the main strategy of this deck, and then 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers. Actually, one of the cards that surprises me the most that is absent from this deck is 1 Shadow Triad. I think it works really nicely because it turns all our VS Seekers into lasers if we need them. Maybe Robin thought that it wasn't really needed, but I don't know. If I were to change some card in this deck, I think that's the first thing that I would try, to have that Shadow Circle in here. I think that the lasers are really good. But oh well, it doesn't play them, so maybe they're not really needed. For Super Scoop Ups, these cards are super awesome to allow us to reuse our Shaman EXs and draw extra cards. And of course, we can also just bring a Seismitoad EX back to our hand, heal off all the damage, and then just put it down again and just play the energy and the Muscle Band again and keep attacking. It's a flippy card, but when it hits, it's totally backbreaking. Just gets rid of all the damage. 1 Tool Scraper, this is a very interesting card. I love this card actually. It allows us to do a lot of stuff. If the opponent goes first and they Headringer our Seismitoad, we can just take the Headringer off and just stick a Muscle Band instead. Or if the opponent has a Spirit Link or their own Muscle Bands, we can just remove them and add our Headringers to their attackers. and that's one of the reasons I think that the 3 Headringers are so good in this deck. So Tool Scraper, really nice card. For Ultra Balls, obvious reasons, grabs us all of our Pokemon, which includes Shaymins and Upas, which draw us further cards. For VS Seeker, a really nice card in this deck, also grabbing all our supporters back. We can choose from a lot of different supporters, so we have the EZ, which not only cures our Pokemon, allows us to retreat from a very awkward position that it might be stuck in, and also allows us to reuse the Shaymins. We have 1 Colress, because sometimes there's huge draws to be had with Colress, but it's not that great in the early stages of the game, so there's only 1. 2 Lysander, which are really important to disrupt our opponent's game and of course get the knockouts while they least expect them, or when they totally expect it. There's 1 N. This card is super good when we are behind, so we can catch up. If the opponent has taken a lot of prizes, we can just end them and then get rid of their attack or something like that, and it's totally backbreaking in the right times. For Professor Sycamore, it's the best draw supporter in the game. 1 Team Flare Grunt and 1 Xerosic. These guys also combine really well. Xerosic can also do something that Tool Scraper does, which is get rid of tools, but both of them get rid of special energy, which is really nice. 3 Burbank City Gym to make sure that we stick that stadium down. And then as far as tool goes, we got 2 Floatstones, 2 Muscle Band, very small count, so we have to make do with this. And then 3 Headringers for our opponent's Pokemon. As far as energy goes, we have the 4 Double Colorless Energy that this deck really needs, and then 3 Double Dragon, which only go on the Giratina. So we're playing a low count of these. The Giratina might also accept the Double Colorless Energy, which works out really nicely. That's the deck. So let's just play it. I haven't played any match yet with this deck, so I hope I don't make a fool out of myself. See you guys in a minute. Bye. No kidding, this is the actual first match that I play with this deck. Okay, so we're playing potentially against the mirror match. Might be playing against another Seismitoad deck. I'm not really too scared about this being my first match, because truth be told, this is a Seismitoad EX deck, and I've played a lot of matches with Seismitoad decks, so we take a mulligan here. And this hand looks decent. We got the Seismitoad to start. I'm going to put it down. Nothing else really. If the opponent decides to end me, I don't really care too much. So I still think... Oh, there's the Headringer. That's disgusting. But we might draw into the... Oh, and the opponent ends. Okay. I wouldn't mind too much, but this hand is kinda sticky, so I'm going to have to put both Giratina down. We have a lot of card draw in our hand though, so we might be able to... Well, might as well play the second Shaymin to see if we can draw. No, we cannot, but I think I'm going to try to really go for the... Okay, we can't get the Tool Scraper that we really wanted, so I'm just going to pass the turn and hope for the best. Kinda scared here for what's coming. There's the hammer. So our Seismitoad, we really need both the energy and the Tool Scraper, or a Xerosic if we draw it off the top, but if we did, we had to find another way to draw cards, which we don't really have, so yeah, we actually need the Tool Scraper. Nothing else would do. Maybe it's time... Okay, there's another tool coming down. Maybe it's time we just forget about the Seismitoad and start charging up another one. I don't know. There's the Seismitoad. Yeah, exactly as I was expecting. And there's the Hypnotoxic Laser, which actually puts this to sleep. There's another bat. If our opponent has the Double Colorless Energy, it does not. Wow, that's great for us. That's really good for us. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if we play this Shaymin, so I'm just going to add Ringer is Seismitoad. That's awesome. And then I'm going to put this Floatstone on the Shaymin actually, because I might want to play the Muscle Band there. And then, yay, we actually got the Tool Scraper, so we can actually... okay, this is the... I'm going to discard both my the Headringers on my Pokemon, and I'm going to stick this Muscle Band in there, and also this Double Colorless Energy, of course, and I'm going to... Let's see here. I'm going to play this computer search, I think, while I can. The opponent might get to, I don't know, play a second Seismitoad and just attack us, I think. So yeah, I'm going to VS Seeker first and grab... So I'm going to kill this Zubat, so it's one less guy, so I think I'm going for the Sycamore. And then I'm going to play this. Oh my god, that was a misclick. I played... Oh man. Doesn't matter now. I wanted to play the computer search, but I misclicked the hypnotoxic laser. Too bad. Oh well. It happens sometimes. I don't really know what I would go for. Maybe a Zerozic in case my opponent got the DCE. But oh well. And he gets some more damage on my guy. So let's see. If he gets an energy down, he might actually be able to kill us, right? Because yeah, we are going down to 50, so an energy plus the damage from the poison, that's a knockout on our Seismitoad EX. Not the greatest thing in the world, but no, the opponent just passes the turn, so right now we have a chance to do something here. Actually, I'm glad that I didn't play the computer search last turn, so now I can just go for the scoop up. And we fail, but I have a Sycamore in hand, so another scoop up is in my hand, so that's perfect. I'm just going to play it, see what we get out of this. Yeah, I can just go with a Shaman because it has a float stone. And we hit adds, that's perfect, so we just denied our opponent the knockout. And we just... I don't think I'll play the Caldu because I'm afraid it might get Headringered. And... yeah, I don't think it's... Is it worth it? I mean, 100, so we deal 50. Yeah, it's not worth it to play the Hypnotoxic Laser, I think. The opponent might just AZ the Crobat anyways or something, so might as well just keep it in hand in case my opponent decides to attack with the Seismitoad or something. I mean, if he attacks with Seismitoad, we can play the Hypnotoxic Laser, but he might just... Okay, he Sycamore, but he could have AZ'd and then play the Crobat down again. So my opponent just plays a DCE on that Seismitoad, so that's going to get Zerozic. So that's super good for us. And now that he's given us the Golbat, we might just take a kill with that Hypnotoxic Laser that we saved, so that's perfect. And Quaking Punch, bam. Just take a knockout, so there's a double Dragon Energy, which is super great, so we can start charging up our Giratina EXs. I don't think they are that great in this matchup. I think just this all goes down to the card draw and the head ringers and the person that attacks first, but you never know, right? It's 100 damage, so I'm just going to try to... I think I'll put the Muscle Man there because I don't want to get head ringered, and I can also play this Ultra Ball. And I'll discard the Hoopa and the Stadium. Yeah. And actually, I have a Shaman, so... yeah, I think I'm going to grab the Seismitoad, and I think I'm going to discard the Keldeo, but I think it's too late for that. I want to grab, I don't know, I want to make sure that the opponent does nothing to us anymore. So yeah, there's the Crushing Hammer. If we do not hit heads, but our opponent concedes anyways. We were going for the hammer. If that took the energy out of our opponent's Pokemon, that would be the game right there, but we couldn't do that. But the opponent still conceded, and we were in a pretty commanding position. I was struggling to see any way that our opponent could hit us back. So there's the deck. It's still a Seismitoad EX deck, as you guys saw, but we also have Giratina EX in there, which doesn't hurt against the Vespiquen decks, which Seismitoad might struggle against. So that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you try it out. It's a really cool and powerful deck, and that's where I think we should start looking at in terms of expanded formats. We've got, of course, all the Yveltal decks. I'm still yet to play one. I have to decide on that as well. But yeah, next video is going to be the Trevenant the Excelgor Vespiquen deck. So I hope to see you guys then. Bye.